And this is the final of the open double ski on the spectacular Wanda Beach. That's looking into the distance to Cronulla, Botany Bay, just 5 kilometres away. And one of the great finals of the Australian Surf Life Saving Championships. The sun is coming out and it's going to be an excellent surf. And the major events are just about to get underway for a spectacular afternoon's entertainment here at Wanda Beach in Sydney. So 13 pairs in the double ski final. Paul Smith.
Yes, well, all the competitors down there are waiting for Owen Ramsey, the starter, holding his hand up there to give them a very even break. There's going to be some magnificent competition in this. Some of the favourites will be Peter Lang and Chris Bond in the white and blue caps of the entrance. Grant Kenny and Danny Sheard from Alexandra Headlands. Grant and Danny are paddling a red and yellow ski, the colour of the association's patrol flags. We've also got Tim Munro and Peter Foster, last year's champions, in there. Steve Wood and Greg Bennett from Manly, who won back in 1986. And Tim Munro and Peter Foster from the Northcliffe Club. They're in a white cap with a maroon star on the top. So they're getting ready for the start now.
And away they go in the final of the open double ski, and this would be the fastest race in the carnival. They've got a paddle out to the boys of about 400 metres, and this will be a fantastic race.
Yes, it certainly will. And you see on the right-hand side of your picture on the fourth ski in, that's Chris Bond and Peter Lang from the entrance. The blue ski at the front, white at the back. They've got a great break. And on the left-hand side of the picture, the big red and yellow double ski of Grant Kenny and Danny Sheard from Alexandra Headlands. Now, right in front of us there, we have Barry Kelly and Peter Clark from Byron Bay. Kelly, a former Olympian in kayaking, competed in 2 Olympic Games. And they're also pushing out there strongly. Most of the crews got away to a pretty even break. But it looks like Bond and Lang over there, the Southport pair of Gary Parmeter and Brad Kane, they're also paddling well and look to be in the lead at this stage. Settling down, they make their way out to sea. They've still got some distance to go before they reach the buoys. Kenny and Sheard from Alexandra Headlands paddling in the middle on the red and yellow ski with the red and yellow striped paddles. They're the Queensland champions, and they're starting to put it on now. Right next to them are the Manly pair of Greg Bennett and Steve Wood. Steve Wood, in fact, paddles with Grant Kenny in the kayaks, and they've just been selected for the 1988 Seoul Olympic Games.
And Bennett and Wood, 2 times Australian champions, and they missed the final last year in Scarborough, so they've got plenty to return in this year's final.
Yes, they certainly have, but the leading pair at the moment, and you see them there, it's Barry Kelly and Peter Clark from the Byron Bay Club on the north coast of New South Wales. Now, Kelly and Clark, they're rating very, very highly here. Be interesting to see whether they can stay up with them. I see Kenny's ski starting to come into the picture, the red and yellow ski. But there's Kelly and Clark now, moving up towards the apex of the boys. There's on the outside the Manly pair on the sky blue clap, and the red and yellow Kenny and Sheard combination from Alexandra Headlands in Queensland.
At this stage, there are no waves around, so they're going to have to work very hard, but it could change very, very rapidly.
Yes, the swells will come up as they make their way back towards the beach. They've probably got to go a good 100 metres before they can get a wave. But on the right-hand side of your picture, it's Kelly and Clark in the sky blue cap of Manly. In the middle, it's Greg Bennett and Steve Wood. And just out of the picture on the left-hand side, we almost had them, was Grant Kenny and Danny Sheard. Now, coming in behind them, you see the white cap with the 2 blue stripes of Chris Bond and Peter Lang from the entrance. Now they're motoring home at an unbelievable speed here, taking the lift they can from the swells, and the Manly pair bustling hard, trying to get up to Kelly and Clark. Barry Kelly, one of the great veterans of surf life-saving competition, represented New South Wales and Australia on many occasions. And look at Kelly and Clark, they've taken a little swell here. This is going to pull them away. Kelly, look at the smile on his face as he comes down that wave. And Peter Clark, they're balancing the ski at the back. They picked their timing up and they've pulled through. If they can hold this wave all the way to the beach, they're going to win the Australian title. Now Bennett and Wood from Manly just behind them. But Kelly and Clark, there's the cap of Manly, the light blue. That's Barry Kelly and Peter Clark. Chris Bond and Peter Lang from the entrance coming on a wave out the back with Grant Kenny and Danny Sheard. But look at the lead they have. That's about 15 metres to go to the finishing flag, and the crowd's starting to applaud Barry Kelly, one of the all-time greats of surf life-saving competition. He throws his paddles in the air, and they're jubilant as they cross the flags. Now, coming into the finish, we've got Kenny and Sheard from Alexandra Headlands, Bennett and Wood from Manly, and in the middle, Bond and Lang from the entrance. And I think it'll be Bond and Lang from the entrance. or Kenny and Sheard over on the left-hand side. There they are. They're in their picture there. Bond and Lang, Chris Bond and Peter Lang. It's Bond in the front and Peter Lang just behind. Last year's champion, Tim Munro and Peter Foster, just finishing between the flags now.
It's our first major win, in fact, with Peter and myself. You mentioned the Olympics. That was 4 years ago, basically, now, and I've been fairly pedestrian up until now, I should say, and it was a great one to win. We haven't won a state together, but that was our first national, and very happy about it.
Peter Clark, you're behind this great paddler. You must find it a great experience.
Yes, it's tremendous. We've been trying for a few years and probably been unlucky at times, but today it's been great. Yeah, he's a great bloke to paddle behind.
There's going to be some great celebrations on that far north coast tonight in Byron Bay.
I think there'll be a few people have a celebratory drink, yeah.
Congratulations to both you great paddlers, the double ski champions of Australia.
Thanks, Ian.
Thanks, Ian.
The second Australian double ski title for Barry Kelly. He won back in 1977 with Peter Jaeger. The first for Peter Clark. That pair coming from Byron Bay. Second, Chris Bond and Peter Lang at the entrance. And third to the dual national champions, Greg Bennett and Steve Wood from Manly. So one of the feature events, the final of the open single ski event. A field of 12. And the defending champion, none other than Grant Kenny.
Yes, Grant has the bright red and yellow surf ski just coming into view there in the picture, and there's Grant in the yellow cap with the black stripes representing the Alexandra Headlands Club. The red and yellow ski. Next to him is his clubmate Andrew Boog. Starter Owen Ramsey has the gun in the air. Chris Bond from the entrance in the white cap with the blue stripes just alongside them there. He'll be very hard to beat at the start. Bond magnificent off the beach. Kenny has the power coming home. Bond very fast going out. I think the winner will probably come from one of those two, although with the surf the way it is, Roger, anything could happen. Kenny's ski easily recognisable, and they're away, and it is a fairly good even start. And as we thought, it's Chris Bond from the entrance is going to paddle very, very strongly and belt his way out. Now, that's Peter Lang from the entrance also alongside him, and 3 Alexandra Headlands claps. Now, Grant Kenny, happy to sit back in equal second place at the moment. Dean Beaumont from Scarborough also out there. He's a former junior champion. And we've got on the bottom of the screen in the light blue ski is Jeff Walker from Waimarai, New Zealand. Walker, a member of the New Zealand national team. Now, they forced their way up those waves there. And, Kenny in trouble, pushed back a competitor off his ski. But there's Grant back on again and paddling. It's the Cronulla competitor, Oren Buchan, looking in a good position at this stage. Now, Kenny is back in about 7th place. Now, it's Chris Bond from the entrance. Peter Foster from Northcliffe, paddling stroke for stroke.
Do you think that Kenny's got too far to go? You mentioned that Bond would power out to the boys and then Kenny would come home, but he's got a lot of ground to make up, hasn't he?
He certainly has. You can't afford to lose a split second to some of these type of competitors. Now, Foster from Northcliffe and Bond from the entrance going very, very well. They're both rounded the first turning buoy. Warren Buchan from Cronulla in 3rd place. Now, Chris Bond forced onto the outside there by Peter Foster. But Bond starting to move over. He'll try and force Foster there. They've rounded the second of the turning buoys. They've got about 20 minutes to go.
So they've come round the boys in the open single ski and they'll head for home. There are no waves at the moment, but rest assured they'll be coming up in a moment. Look at the big petrol tanker out the back. They've got a great view of the national championships.
And using as much petrol as he can as Peter Foster from Northcliffe. He's opened up a nice little lead there. Chris Bond from the entrance in 2nd place. But look at Foster. Warren Buchan from Cronulla also in there. And there's a huge lead there. Peter Foster going very well. Grant Kenny, he's back a bit at the moment, but he's moved up into 4th place. It's not going to be enough. Now, here comes Bond from the entrance. And Warren Buchan from Cronulla. Foster on the left-hand side of the screen, Bond in the middle, and it's Foster starting to paddle first. Bond's in the middle there, Buchan from Cronulla. Now Foster loses his ski a little bit. Chris Bond puts on a spurt now. There's not too far to go, and on behind them there's a huge wave with a lot of competitors. But look at these leaders go. It's Buchan from Cronulla coming over another swell. really pouring it on. Warren Buchan from Cronulla, and here comes Chris Bond. Bond is going to power through there, and it was either Bond from the entrance or Buchan from Cronulla, but I do really believe Chris Bond has regained the title he won 2 years ago. Asking the other competitor who won, they shake hands at a great display of sportsmanship. That's Bond on the right-hand side with the white cap, and Warren Buchan from Cronulla with the sky blue cap there on the left-hand side of the screen. Looks like Andrew Buchan from Alexandra Headlands finished in 3rd place.
And here's the closing stages, the closest finish of the day we've had so far. This is an absolute fantastic finish to the open single ski final.
Yes, a great surge there. Chris Bond just took those extra 2 paddles to force himself out about 1 inch in front.
And the judges do have video cameras. It's not done from the naked eye, so it's a very decisive decision, but a pretty tricky one on that occasion. So a wonderful success for Chris Bond of the entrance, winning his 2nd national title from Warren Buchan of Cronulla, with Andrew Buchan of Alexandra Headland taking the bronze medal.